Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new legal breaking reporting and afternoon edition. The high cost of Trump's illegal, unconstitutional, unlawful tariffs are threatening him as well as the GOP. Let's get into this brand new reporting that was just released today by The Hill. The article, ladies and gentlemen, is titled High Costs After Tariffs Pose Threat to Trump and GOP. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, the article reads, the cost of living in America is projected to rise because of Trump's latest round of tariffs, and that's a political problem for the president and Republican lawmakers in Washington who campaigned in 2024 on bringing down the cost of groceries and other staples, a message that resonated strongly with voters. More than 6 months into Trump's second term, however, the costs of groceries and other essential goods, such as cars, have continued to rise, corresponding with a drop in Trump's job approval rating and a soaring public view of Trump's handling of the economy. The cost of even cheap eats has become fodder for debate on social media as people grumble about everything from the price of McDonald's hash browns to Coca-Cola. The price of eggs has come down in recent months, but a dozen are still, on average, 64 cents more expensive than a year ago, while the price of chicken, ground beef, and orange juice were more expensive last month compared to a year ago. While inflation has measured by the as measured by the Consumer Price Index, has stabilized at 2.7%. Policymakers fear the price of goods and services could spike up again, which is a big reason the Federal Reserve is hesitant to cut interest rates, a major point of tension between Federal Chair Jerome Powell and Trump. Trump's tariffs are expected to put upward pressure on costs. Experts project the higher fees on goods from Canada, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, and other major trading partners could cost the average family for an additional $2,400 or more in annual expenses. A Republican strategist who requested anonymity said Republicans need to be careful that inflation and costs don't become an anchor on their candidates in next year's election. That's why Trump's beating that Fed rate cut like a dead horse, the strategist quipped, referring to the immense pressure the president has put on the Federal Reserve Chair to cut rates. The strategist explained that while spurring the economy by making money cheaper to borrow might increase inflation over the long term, it will give voters a sense that the economy and their income earning ability is on the rise. Vin Weber, a Republican strategist and former member of the House GOP leadership, said while some voters might hope to see prices come down, he warned that is extremely difficult for any president to accomplish. I think that we've made a mistake as Republicans a little bit in talking about bringing down costs, bringing an end to inflation, but actually reducing price is a lot more difficult, he said. We can do better. We can do that with some things like certain commodities like gasoline, but broadly speaking, to say we're going to bring down prices is very, very difficult and not necessarily desirable in traditional economic terms. Prices coming down is deflation and is usually identified with a recession, he said. Republican strategists say the jury is still out on what the economy will look like a year from now when the battle for control of Congress heats up, but they warn that Republicans' political fortunes will ride on how voters view their own ability to keep up in a world that gets more expensive every month. The two most important reasons why Donald Trump won the presidency in 2024 were to bring down inflation and juice the economy. The progress on those two efforts will go a long way toward determining the president's job approval rating and the fortunes of Republicans going forward, said Whit Ayres, Ayres, a leading Republican pollster. Let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump did not win the election from 2024, as Elon Musk has admitted multiple times that he rigged and bought the election for Donald Trump. He did not win, and he does not have a mandate. Continuing with the legal breaking reporting. There has been a tremendous amount of attention paid to the Jeffrey Epstein case, but progress on inflation and economic growth will be far more important than the Epstein case to the vast majority of Americans, he added. Ayres, Ayres, said polls show voters increasingly view the economy as Trump's economy, a perception that took hold after Trump announced sweeping reciprocal tariffs on most countries on April 2, Liberation Day. Polls show increasingly that the status of the economy is due to policies adopted during the Trump administration rather than those adopted in the Biden administration. That has been the case ever since Liberation Day on April 2. With the tariff announcement, he said, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, these tariffs and this supposed Liberation Day is illegal and unconstitutional because Donald Trump did not seek legal authorized approval from Congress. That's why I'm willing to bet almost 100% that the case involving him and his administration and these tariffs with the Circuit Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit will almost certainly he will not win. Continuing with the reporting, ladies and gentlemen. A Gallup poll of 1,002 adults nationwide last month found Trump's job approval rating has dipped to 37%, and that his approval rating on the economy has dropped from 41% in March to 37% last month. A University of Massachusetts Amherst poll of 1,000 respondents conducted from July 25th to July 30th also found Trump with a 38% job approval rating and a 58% disapproval rating. Respondents in that poll gave Trump a 37% approval rating on jobs and a 31% approval rating on tariffs. That has Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill feeling nervous about the latest round of tariffs Trump imposed on foreign trading partners last week. An analysis by the Yale Budget Lab projects Trump's tariffs could increase prices by 1.8% in the short term and cost the average American household $2,400 per year. The nonpartisan research group calculates that consumers face an average of effective tariff rate of 18.6%, the highest since 1933. This has some Republicans in Congress worried about a political backlash. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican MO late last month unveiled a proposal to send a $600 rebate check to every American man, woman, and child to help offset higher costs from tariffs. His bill would allow for higher rebates if tariff revenues exceed projections. A family of four would receive $2,400 in economic assistance under his plan. Senator Rand Paul, Republican Kentucky, warned colleagues in April that the enactment of the 1930 Smoot-Hawley Act, which raised tariffs substantially, led to the defeat of the Republican authors of the legislation in the 1932's election, and lost Republican control of Congress for decades. The economics of tariffs are bad. The politics, if anything, are worse, he warned at the time. Congressional Democrats, who are struggling with their own dismissal job approval ratings, see the high costs of daily living as an issue that can help them win back control of the Senate and House. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer from New York traveled across upstate New York on Tuesday to highlight how the administration is raising costs and hurting the economy. Appearing at an event in Niagara Falls, he called Trump's 35% tariff rate on Canada destructive, and tariffs more generally as a dagger aimed at the heart of upstate New York. Democrats are hoping to flip several Republican-held seats in New York, and state lawmakers are discussing legislation to allow New York to redraw its congressional alliance mid-decade. A group of Democratic senators from New England sent a letter to Environmental Protection Agency, to the Environmental Protection Agency's Administrator Lee Zeldin on Thursday, slamming him over rising energy prices after Trump signed into law the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which dramatically cut tax incentives for renewable energy. While energy demand surges, your policies are struggling America's cheapest and quickest to deploy sources of energy, solar and wind, hiking costs, creating insurmountable permitting hurdles, and injecting uncertainty into the market, they wrote. The signatories include Senators Ed Markey, Democrat from Massachusetts; Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat, Rhode Island; Janine Shaheen, Democrat, New Hampshire; Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, Connecticut; and Angus King from Maine. an independent who caucuses with Democrats. Ron Bonjean, a GOP strategist and former Senate and House leadership aide, said voters vote with their wallets, and that's why they voted Trump in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear again, nobody voted Trump in. He got the election from 2024 illegally bought for him by Elon Musk, referencing the multiple videos of Elon Musk admitting multiple times that he bought the election for Donald Trump and that he would not have won the election became president without his support and illegal unconstitutional rigging. Just reference the post-election speech from Elon Musk on stage where Trump admits that Elon Musk knows the election machines very well and the election computers very well. Continuing with the reporting, ladies and gentlemen. But he questioned whether Democrats will have credibility on the issue of the economy and inflation after voters came away from Biden's 4 years in office with a strongly negative view of his handling of those issues. The Democrats are having a really difficult time seizing on a number of opportunities because they lack the organization and the message, he said. They just seem so disorganized. We're 15 months out from the election, and while historically the Republicans would like to lose the House, it doesn't feel that way. It feels it could go in any direction, he added. We'll see what the economy is looking like a few months before the election, Bonjean said. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting video analysis update. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting and video analysis update, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you would like to make sure that you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking, reporting wise on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon as well as the all notifications option. It is completely free of charge. There's no paywall, no nothing, and hit the all notifications option rather than the personalized option. That way you're notified of every single legal breaking reporting analysis video that I post to the channel. You guys can also stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, and including when I upload brand new legal breaking reporting analysis videos to the channel by following me on my social medias. That'll be linked down below in the video description below. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There I will be uploading when I upload or announcing when I upload brand new legal breaking reporting analysis videos to the channel. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 250 plus subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm saying 250 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 250 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve. Right after we reach and achieve the goal of 250 subscribers. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive. And please stay safe. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, please always look for the points of light. Despite the unfortunate, illegal, unconstitutional darkness caused by the illegal, unconstitutional Trump administration, Trump regime. Lastly, and always look for the points of light in today's unfortunate, illegal, induced darkness, and please look out for my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update. And I will look forward to talking to you guys in my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update.